In 2002, Grand Seiko came out with its first GMT series, which utilized the 9S56 caliber. And since that was 20 years ago, you know what time it is, folks. That's right, we have a limited edition to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Grand Seiko's first GMT watch. This limited edition is the SBGE275, which has a specially calibrated spring drive movement, a fascinating snow textured dial, and a vivid blue sapphire bezel. As these are sold out now, congratulations to those of you who did acquire one. As you are probably thinking, this isn't just another limited edition, this is actually extraordinary. Or maybe you disagree and this is just a modified version of the SBGE201 to you, and you're waiting for something completely different. But which mindset will you fall into? Let's go ahead and find out. What's up, everyone? It's Chris with the Little Treasury channel. Welcome back. This is where we bring you awesome watch content at least once a week. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be alerted as soon as we upload. I'm from Little Treasury Jewelers, which is located in Gambrills, Maryland. It's where you go when you're in the know. As always, the watches that I review are for sale and can be purchased, so please see the description below to contact us. If you're just joining us now, I'll go over the watch's detailed measurements and features, and then I'll offer my personal opinion at the end. In our last video, I did another one of Grand Seiko's new core pieces, which is the SBGE437. Not only did I get to review a new piece, but I was able to explain how special the Silicon Sunray, or Champagne dial as you may know it, from Grand Seiko really is. And I recommend checking this video out, at the very least to hear about that aspect. Wrist check time. Today it's the Grand Seiko SBGE211 Snowflake, which actually has a different dial texture than the dial that we're reviewing today, if you're wondering. Now tell me which watch you're wearing while you're watching the video, and make sure to tell me why. Now let's get on to the features. The SBGE275 has a 42.5mm case width. Yes, this is true. A 15.2mm thickness, a 50.2mm lug to lug, a 20.8mm lug width, a 31.8mm crystal diameter, and weighs in at 184.92 grams with all links installed. The case is made out of stainless steel with matte finish on the top of the lugs and Zaratsu polish on the sides, with a facet of Zaratsu in between. The crown is offset at the 4 position, is screwed down, and has the GS logo at the top. The sapphire crystal is slightly domed and sits slightly above the bezel. The bezel ring is made of sapphire crystal and has a vivid blue tone for the night hours with white numerals and a white half for the daytime hours with blue numerals. You will notice that the blue portion takes up slightly more real estate than the white portion, which adds an interesting dimension to it. Since this is not a true dive watch, the bezel moves bidirectionally and has a grade of even numbers on it for the GMT function. Let's give it a click test. So it isn't particularly loud or special sounding, but the action on this piece is wonderful. And I think that this is the best bezel on any SBGE type watch that I have ever seen thus far. The dial is a variant of the lion's mane texture, which is in white to represent the rugged snow surface that can be seen in the high mountains that surround the Shinshu Watch Studio in central Japan, which is in late winter and early spring when the daytime temperatures start to rise and the annual thaw begins. The wind carves a unique pattern as it whips across the melting snowdrifts, and this imagery is what this dial has been created to capture. The indices are finished to Grand Seiko perfection and are rectangular except for the 3, 6, 9, and 12, which are rhomboids, with black minute ticks in between each. An odd numbered grade can be found around the chapter ring, which is used to time another time zone for a total of 3. It has a blue half for the nighttime hours and a white half for the daytime hours, just like the bezel. The GS logo can be found applied in silver tone, with Grand Seiko written on the dial in black below it. The hour and minute hands are in silver toned and are Dauphine style, but are chopped off at the tip so it is flat. The second hand is a simple silver line, and the GMT hand has a decisive arrow at the tip and is in black. The power reserve indicator can be found at the middle left portion and is divided into 3 sections of black, gray, and white to indicate the 3 days of power that this piece has when it's fully wound. The date can be found at the 4 o'clock position, is a simple open window, and has a white background and black numerals. spring drive and GMT can be found at the lower middle section of this piece in black. The loom on this bezel is spectacular, and the entire daytime half is loomed with inverted numerals, and the other half has loomed numerals and the 12 triangle. The 12, 3, 6, and 9 markers and the hour, minute, and GMT hands are loomed as well. The caseback is open and shows off the beautiful 9R16 movement, which features an 18-karat gold Grand Seiko lion emblem on the oscillating weight that lets you know that this movement is just a cut above. The movement is Grand Seiko's 9R16, which has been worked on by Grand Seiko's top watchmaker and tuned to be accurate to 10 seconds per month. It has a 72-hour power reserve, and the second hand glides effortlessly across the dial with no ticking at all. The 9R16 uses a calendar-linked time difference adjustment function, which lets you adjust the hour hand independently of the minutes, and even lets you go back in time on the date, which could be handy if you are traveling and want to maintain your atomic clock time. The bracelet is a familiar style, which is a 5-link with matte on the large areas and high polish on the smaller pieces. The great part, though, is that it has a pin-push micro-adjust on the clasp, with a GS logo. The Grand Seiko SBGE275 is limited to 1,500 pieces worldwide, is 200-meter water resistant, and can be yours for $7,300. Now for my personal opinion. What a combination of awesome features in one watch. I love this one for a few reasons. The bezel is simply stunning and will look different in every lighting circumstance to keep it fascinating. Plus, the white half is loomed completely, which I really enjoy seeing. The dial is fascinating and textured, and is what I always look for in a Grand Seiko piece. Plus, my favorite movement that they make is the spring drive, and it has a specially regulated version of it that you could say is between the standard and the 9RA2 that you will see in the white birch, for example. I keep getting questions about this, and the size of this piece is very deceiving, since Grand Seiko calls this a 44mm, and maybe they are measuring the bezel, but the case is smaller than that, and a liberal measurement would be 43mm. It even looks great on my 6.5-inch wrist. Something else that I love about this whole SBGE line is that these pieces look distinctly like Grand Seiko's and will never be mistaken for another brand's homage. I will recommend this one to anyone who is looking for a fun and exciting travel piece that will keep fantastic time and have a unique and totally Grand Seiko look to it. Plus, the rarity of this one is definitely a benefit as well. Thanks for watching today, everyone. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you did, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share with all of your friends and your family members too. I look forward to seeing you next video.